Hey folks, how have you been? I hope you're all keeping safe out there and had a great Christmas, New Year's, all that lot. Yeah, I've been away for a few weeks. Kind of managed to pick up the flu, a chest infection, an ear infection, and Christmas just wiped me out completely. So, I haven't been able to do some videos for a while. I apologise for that. But I thought, well, I might as well get on with doing the video I wanted to do last week, this week. And so here is my personal top 10 Marvel Legends figures that I have owned in the year 2022. And yep, just prefacing this, these are the ones I have owned or still do own. There are quite a few out there that I just haven't been able to pick up that I think probably would make this list. Like for instance the Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man's Amazing Friends box set, the Venom 3-pack, the Spider-Man 5-pack with the Human Fly. That's a figure I really want for some stupid reason. But yeah, I just haven't picked up everything this year, so it's not going to be a list of like the best of everything that's come out, just the best of the things I managed to get my hands on. So yeah, let's start this off with number 10. This is actually a joint one. It's the Symbiote Spider-Man and the Ben Reilly Spider-Man that came out in the Spider-Man Retro Wave. I put these two together because they're pretty much the same figure. They're both repaints of the retro Spider-Man that came out a couple of years ago. But that was a great figure, and these are great figures by extension. The paint on them is brilliant, the designs are classic. Two of my favourite versions of Spider-Man that I think I actually like a bit more than the original Spider-Man costume. All in all, really great figures. Only really held back by the lack of accessories. They both come with all the hand options you'd want, and they're both on really greatly articulated bodies. When they came out, they were on like the best Spider-Man body you could get, but spoiler alert for a later entry on here, Marvel and Hasbro managed to create a better Spider-Man body. I just wish they came with some alternative heads, like an unmasked Ben Reilly head or a unmasked Peter Parker head, something a bit more, I don't know, just to add a bit more to them, considering they are mainly just repaints. Okay, the next one, number 9, is the retro 90s cartoon aesthetic inspired War Machine. I really like this figure. I loved the Iron Man cartoon back in the day. This is a repaint, but just recasting in more cartoonish colours of the deluxe class War Machine, or the deluxe release War Machine that came out a few years ago, minus some of the accessories like the unmasked head or the blast effects or the flying blasting off effects. But it does come with an extra pair of hands that the original figure didn't, which was actually one of my big things. That sort of my only real complaint with that previous figure was he only came with the one set of hands, a set of fists. This figure, however, comes with a pair of repulsor blasting hands, which was pretty much the last thing I needed for the figure. And I love the packaging on this thing. It looks great, and it's a really great figure of a great character that I loved from a show when I was a kid. On to number 8, another retro figure, the retro Rhino. This is a fantastic reuse of the majority of the sculpt from the Build-A-Figure from 7 or 8 years ago. Could be even further back than that. But anyway, the older Build-A-Figure. But the paint on it is fantastic. The sculpting has been updated slightly. We got it really cheap over here in the UK because something went wrong with the pricing structure. Like this thing was £25, which should have been 40 or 30 some odd. So yeah, as a bargain, it was immense. This is a really great figure. He's hard to get nowadays, but he is still a must if you're like a Spider-Man fan. He's a nice big chunky figure. As I say, really well articulated, well sculpted, well painted, all in all, a terrific figure. Up next is the first multi-pack in this set, first multi-pack in this list. It's the Daredevil 3-pack. I wasn't going to get this, but I managed to pick it up for a really reasonable price, and I'm glad I did because all three of these figures are actually superb. The Daredevil figure uses the brand new, pinless, hyper-articulated Spider-Man body, and it just looks look at this. It's brilliant. It can do everything you want a Daredevil figure to do. The articulation is just superb. The accessories are great. The paint, while minimal, is still iconically Daredevil. The Elektra figure in the set is just beautiful. It's the new pinless, double jointed knees and elbows female book with two tremendous looking head sculpts. The one with the wild hair is just breathtaking. Even the basic one is still stunning. The paint is so crisp and clean with the whites on it just popping brilliantly. Even the Bullseye figure, which is really just a slight repaint of the one that was released in the, I think, the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave a couple of years ago. Adds in a bit more modern flair with the blue on the body, which I think is something that's added to his costume in recent years. But that's still a great figure. That could have maybe been done on a pinless body, but I don't really think it needed to. It still looks great. And all in all, these three figures, well, I paid 60 quid for the three of them. That's £20 a figure. That's cheaper than most things at retail nowadays, and I'm really glad I got it because it is just a gorgeous set. Okay, the next one on the list is the Black Panther, the comic book styled one from the Atuma Build-A-Figure wave. That's it. The Marvel Legends figure wave that came out the same time as Wakanda Forever is the only figure I got from the set because it just looks so beautiful. It's the classic comic book design with the new pinless book with all this great articulation, the paint, yet again like Daredevil before, minimalist, but it does everything it needs to do. It's not overly designed, it's not overly complicated. It delivers this just beautiful and wonderful representation of the classic comic book design, and it's one I think everyone really needs to have in their collection. Next figure on the list, Spiral from the recent X-Men Retro Wave. Yeah, this is just a wonderful feat of Marvel Legends design engineering, and like what you get for your money really can't be beat with this figure. It's a 6-armed figure, all entirely brand new sculpting, all pinless, painted fantastically, 6 arms, 8 sets of hands, so you get an extra set for each side, and 6 swords, and it's just a stunning figure. I mean, I paid like average retail price, and you get so much packed into it. I mean, I'd have bought this thing just for the great David Nakayama artwork that goes onto the packaging because I love his work, and Spiral has always been a guilty pleasure character of mine, especially in the old days of playing the Capcom games where she was always a brilliant character to play as. Yet this figure, designed amazingly, articulates really well, just always looks great, and yet, as I say, you get so much for your money with this figure. It is just tremendous. Okay, up next is a contentious one. It is the retro 90s Iron Man figure. This was very expensive when it came out, and annoyingly was like half the price or 2/3 the price a few weeks ago, just before Christmas, and I'm not salty about that at all. But this figure is the Iron Man of my childhood, just made in action figure form. It's like the War Machine that was previously on this list, it's a recasting of the parts from the previous version of this mould, the modular armour, that came out in the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave. But like that War Machine, it's been done in cartoon accurate colours, and it just looks so damn good. There's so many great accessories, 3 different sets of hands, articulated repulsor blasting hands, gripping hands should I say, 2 different head sculpts, the classic cartoon look, the comic book, more comic book-esque look, and it comes with the proton cannon or photon cannon depending on what you think it's called, though to me I always think it's proton. I'm 99% sure it's proton cannon. This big accessory, he looks stupid holding it, I know, but like Spiral, he was a character I loved in the Capcom games, and yeah, this just all looks so goddamn good. I definitely paid too much for it, but it is something that I think has to be in my collection, and I really couldn't put it any lower on this list because of the sheer joy it gave me. Next one, the Retro Lizard. This is, yet again, just childhood memories made into plastic. I love the Lizard in the Spider-Man animated series, and even in the comic books I liked some of the goofier versions of the Lizard, and this figure provides all of that. It's all brand new sculpting, all superbly done, all pinless, all just beautiful. The textures, the paint, everything works on this figure, from articulation to sculpt to accessories to sheer shelf presence. It is superb. The only gripe I have with the figure, if you could really call it a gripe, is he comes with, I think it's 4 unique hands, and I'd have liked to have seen like 4 pairs of those hands, but I can't hold that against this figure because look at it. It is one of the most beautiful figures Hasbro have done for Marvel Legends, and it has pride of place in my collection just because of how quintessentially Marvel it is with how goofy it looks, but still it can be a scary, menacing lizard figure or a campy lizard figure depending on what head you put on it. So yeah, that's got the number 3 spot. Number 2 spot, and I think this is one a lot of people thought might have been number 1 because of how much people loved it and how many people have wanted it over the year. It's the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man 2-pack with Spider-Man and Mary Jane as Spinneret. Now I love the Renew Your Vows comic books, both the original Secret Wars series and the ongoing, and their inclusion of other things, as well as apparently they're appearing in Across the Spider-Verse, or whatever the new Spider-Verse movie is, so I'm really looking forward to that. But both these figures are just a step forward in what Marvel Legends are as a brand. Spider-Man is on a brand new pinless, hyper-articulated body, which imports elements from Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection with that wonderful diaphragm ball joint. The pinless design means the sculpt isn't broken, but all the painted on details just flow across the figure spectacularly. The proportions are brilliant, the accessory count is amazing, all the hands you want, interchangeable unmasked head as well. Mary Jane's figure is Spinneret as well. I love the Spinneret design, and it is so crisply and cleanly done. And on that new articulated female body with yet again pinless, double jointed knees and elbows, all the articulation you could really want in a figure. Maybe a bit more of a waist joint possibly could help the figure a little bit more, but I really can't hold that against it because what it provides is just so superb. And like Spider-Man, she's an unmasked Mary Jane head sculpt. Just the digital printing on this thing is just astounding, and it is a beautiful figure. And these two together are two of the best Spider-Man figures I think I've ever had in any collection I've had, let alone Marvel Legends and figure arts in a SIC and all sorts. These are two superb figures that are amazing to get together. I never thought I'd see a Spinneret figure or a Spider-Man figure that looks this good, and yeah, that's why they're my number 2. They are something you really got to buy if you're a Marvel Legends collector. And okay, that brings me up to like the number 1 figure from last year. It's the retro Doctor Strange. Now I know a lot of people might not have thought this would be my number 1, but hear me out here. It is sculpted superbly. The paint is immaculate, and it oozes this like 60s and 70s psychedelic Doctor Strange vibe. The fact it comes with a version of Doctor Strange's head with his eyes closed meditating is fantastic. The masked head, which is really, I know it's just a repainted Silver Surfer head, but when it comes to representing that really weird era in Doctor Strange's that really strange time in Doctor Strange's life when he had a mask in his costume, they didn't have to include it, but it's something they did. As I say, the interchangeable hands are superb, the spell-casting hands, and really nice use of the spell-casting effects. The Wand of Watum, the axe of drat, it's more of a more modern Doctor Strange thing. But I know it's an axe that Doctor Strange has used in recent years when magic was a bit topsy-turvy, wibbly-wobbly. But all those accessories just really add to this figure, and I can't get over how stunning it is. And it fills a hole in my collection, as well as in my, when I was a kid, I really wanted the Doctor Strange figure that came with the old Spider-Man animated series, his toy line. I could never get my hands on it, never even seen it in person, but I love the look of it so much. And this figure is definitely a modern update of that, because they're both based on the classic Doctor Strange design. But I still feel the same way of, wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful figure. And I'm so glad I've got it. It's always on display. I even built a Sanctum Sanctorum diorama to display it in. And I just love this thing so, so much. It has to be my number 1 figure. Much like how the Thing was last year. It is a character that I love. And I honestly can't imagine being made any better. So yeah, folks, that was my top 10 of the year. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Can you think of other figures that I haven't owned that you have that deserve to be on this list? Or do you think some of these figures don't deserve to be on the list? please let me know down below your opinions. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe for more reviews and discussions in the future. And yeah, that's it. So, as I said earlier, hope you've all had a great New Year's, great Christmas, great holidays, however you celebrate this time of year. And yeah, sorry for being away for a few weeks. My health has not been great. But until next time, folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!